checking out the volume. Hello back, everyone. Hopefully I catch some of the people that had shown up. I guess I'll just have to give them time. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm just behind the camera while I check out the volume going on. Okay, I do have volume. Okay, here I come. Probably a little bit of feedback coming through. Okay, not the best setup I've got here. This is not what I wanted, but it's a start. So welcome back, Mark Kaufman here for Whisky Whistle. Hello, my whiskey people. Great to see you. Turn down this volume. Okay, so I've got myself set up here. I don't know what happened to the volume there. Let me know if I've got enough volume. I can micro adjust that here on the fly. And I should probably put this cork back in so that I'm not losing my wilder seas while I sit here. All right, so first of all, quick little sip sip of water just to wet my palate. I'm just coming off of some laryngitis. Oh boy. Well, I had 22 people. Oh, I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to use my Rode wireless Go 2 mic. But no, it just did not work out for me. Not quite sure what happened. I think that the mic had been sort of set up with the first mic, the blue. You can't quite see it there; it's just out of the frame. But I've got my big blue microphones, blue mic. What is it called again? It's the one everybody uses. Anyway, it's sitting here doing its thing. So volume up, volume down. You let me know how the volume is. And in part one, which was now I guess about an hour ago, I talked about the Talisker Wilder Seas collab here with Parley to, what does it say? In support of wild sea forests, 100% recycled glass, no box. You do get this little bottle, what do you call it? Well, these danglies. You get these little danglies on there. I guess that's better than having a full-on box. And by the way, I did get 2 bottles of this because, get this, this is the greatest thing. I've got the receipt here. So obviously this is in Korean, but $131 Canadian basically for these 2 bottles. That's cheaper than I paid for Talisker 10 going back 12, 14 years ago. Okay, so I've got a few people coming in. We've got 14 in now. I'll just say a quick hello to everybody that's following along. I've got Sarkar Saheb. I hope my name is pronounced, your name is pronounced okay. Whiskey Tucker. I hope I know who you are. I hope I do. But nice to see you. Thanks for letting me know about the volume. I can maybe adjust it up if need be, so you let me know. And we've got Sad Frog. Oh, free Diddy and free R. Kelly. Not comments I'm really interested in here. Anyway, and we've got Mooney Girl. She says, why are you drinking? Why are you drinking? Well, Mooney Girl, I'm drinking because it's Saturday night, baby. It's Saturday night. And looking after the kids. The kids are all asleep. Hopefully I don't wake them up. At least I've got the laryngitis to smoothen and crackle up my voice so that I sound a little bit more, at least this much sexier than I normally do. Anyway, all right. 13 people following along, 3 thumbs up. Thank you very much. So we'll get started. So that's the Talisker Wilder Seas, peated. It's heavily peated. If you're averse to peat, this is not the whiskey for you. Wilder Seas, made in concert with Parley, 48.6% ABV, so stronger than the normal Talisker at 45.8%. And then also I'm going to compare that to cask strength, 57%, 57.1 should be 0.1. Anyway, 57% ABV bottle of Talisker. This is the 57 degrees north. So that's the setup for today. To those who've commented, thanks so much. And I'll just check in every now and then so I can say hi and keep up with what's going on. And I've poured the whiskeys into my very bling professional blenders 1920s glasses. I think it's called the 1920s professional blenders glasses. That's the name of these. These ones I got from Wonders of Whiskey. That was a gift from a friend, so that was very nice. And I'm not sure if you can see what's going on with the legs here. Whiskey legs, you've got wine legs. Well, these are whiskey legs. Whiskey legs, the first ones are a little thin, but the second ones are very slow. I'm not sure if you can get a sense of that there. Very slow, trickly legs. And one of the things, why would they choose 48%? They choose 48% because I got to get some of these people out of here. I'm very sorry. So we're going to remove this person. Okay, I got to get the strange people out of here. I've got this Keguri talking about free Diddy. Like, no, I'm sorry. Nobody's freeing Diddy. And there, get those people out of here. All right. Sorry about that. If you see any strange comments, do let me know, and I'll be quick to boot those losers out of here. Okay, I guess I should put this one in front because this is the one we're dealing with right now. All right, so I was talking about the legs, and I was showing you that, hopefully you could see that this has really nice thick legs. And one of the comments that I want to make is that 48.6% is right near the absolute most viscous point for a water and ethanol mixture, which whiskey, vodka, etc. are. And so, yeah, very, very slow on the second legs. And I'll just take a very slow turn around there. Yeah, well, I'm really glad you can see those. That's great. And this whiskey, by the way, I believe it's your standard Talisker 10 plus or minus. It might be 9 years old. And I'll just also show this out here again. The little note card. Which one are we at? Right here. Here's the one we want to see. I'll just pull that out for you. Okay, come on. I guess I'm a little bit behind. So just so you can read that. So it's finished in cognac casks, XO cognac casks. And what some people might be thinking is that, oh, okay, that's XO. XO, that means that it's going to have a lot of cognac flavor being added. Can I get this in the right? I haven't got quite. It's not quite centered yet. Okay, maybe there we go. Okay, so you might be thinking, oh, we're gonna have a lot of cognac flavor. But of course you'll have some cognac flavor, but also you see cognac must be matured in French oak, French Limousin oak, which is either Quercus robur or the other one. It's not Alba because that's American. I'm forgetting the other one now. But you've got two choices of oak, and you've got two different regions where those oak casks must come from. And being French oak, being not American oak, it's actually a totally different flavor profile. Totally, quite a different flavor profile than you get from your typical American casks that deal with most Scotch whiskies and rums and tequila and etc. Okay, so a very, very different kind of oak here, adding different flavors. And I've got this person named Mooney Girl talking about that she never knew that she could stew raisins. That's a little bit off the wall, Mooney Girl, so I'm not sure what you wanted to mention there, but do let me know. Okay, so this is the one here, and I'll give you a big cheers. Cheers. Hopefully I didn't bump the camera too much. All right, so on the nose, beautiful, unmistakable Talisker peaty, delicious nose. This is heavily peated. It's not the heaviest. It's not like Ardbeg or Lechec or the heavy hitters, Lafroig. However, it's well beyond the medium peated level. I think they do 25 to 35 ppm, maybe up to 40. And as I had mentioned about those French oak casks, the Cognac XO casks, I'm just about destroyed my glasses. You're getting some cognac for sure being added into the whiskey flavor, but you're also getting the oak, which is, in my opinion, way more interesting and valuable than just the cognac alone. Okay, so you've got a double thing going on, and we've got Versace joining in, and he writes in Korean, whiskey, cheers to you, konbae. All right. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here in Korea. It's supposed to be like 2 o'clock. Took me forever getting set up, and then I botched the first video, which really sucks. But that's life. So oak infused spices, nutmeg, and some sweet vanilla fudge. And we really don't have anything big on the cognac here on the nose. Let's give that a taste. Cheers again. First of all, beautiful, silky, mouth coating, rich mouthfeel. Again, 48% is a great place for whiskey to be. 47.5 up to 48.5. That's a sweet spot if you're not going to do cask strength. 46% is good, but hey, 48% is better. And I don't mean that because I want more alcohol. I mean that because I want more flavor, and I want more freedom, and I want more room to wiggle when I add some water, which I'll be doing shortly. Okay, I've got 7 people on the go here. Welcome back. I had to kick out a few unusual individuals, a couple of losers, I think, going on about some wacko stuff that you guys missed. Normally I'll have some monitors helping me out here, but I think I'm on my own this afternoon. Anyway, so the first taste, really mouth coating, very thick. That 48% is helping. The French oak is helping. The cognac is probably helping a little bit. I'm not sure how wet the cognac casks would have been. They may very well have been dry, which is not the end of the story, but it's not the beginning either. Anyway, another taste. Super approachable, wonderful whiskey. And it almost comes across a little bit like a virgin oak cask. So you got a lot of oak working in here, making this a very rich, oaky, European oak, nutmeggy, and nutty flavors, more umami, more spice, a little bit more cinnamon, nutmeg, some cardamom coming in there. And it's peated for sure. This one comes off about the mid-ground of Talisker. It's not hot. It's 48% and not very much of a difference in the heat compared to the 10-year-old. And what you'll find is if that is the 10-year-old plus some finishing in the French oak cognac casks, then you're actually going to end up with a lessening of the heat as the age goes up. And you're also adding more residual sweetness from the cognac. You're adding some wood qualities, some wood essences from the French oak. Lots of things going on there. Welcome to all. And I'm not sure, Mooney Girl, she goes kind of like half sad face. Anyway, I don't aim to please everyone, and I'm doing this for myself. So hopefully you can enjoy what I'm bringing to WhiskyTube. I mentioned the laryngitis. It's definitely on the downside, and out of the woods per se. I had a couple of days last week where I actually couldn't produce any sound without severe pain. And I still have a little bit of issues going on. Okay, very nice whiskey. Let's add some water in there. We'll add 1 ounce. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1 ounce, 1 milliliter, pardon me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not quite. I'm missing a couple drops. 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. I am okay. I just had a cold and I had a sudden urge to cough while I had the whiskey in my mouth. Again, I'm using this water that I've been using a lot on my channel. It is spring water from Scotland. You can get that on Amazon or etc. I think it's interesting. It's nice that it's in glass, so you're not getting any microplastics. And thanks for carrying, Mooney Girl. I really appreciate that. Where are you from, by the way? Pardon me. No editing on a live stream. And Versace, where are you from? 어디서 오셨어요? Not quite mixed in with the water just yet. That's better. And Mooney Girl is joining us from Portugal. Well, welcome. Really appreciate it. What is your favorite whiskey? I'm curious. All right, so the professional blender's glass, very great for swishing and swirling. It's really, really difficult to actually spill with that big bulb. Tulip glass, these were formerly known. Anyway, with the water, a little bit more aggressive on the nose, a little bit more Talisker pepper coming through, which I was waiting for. Very peppery. Beautiful fresh casks going on here. Now I know the jury is rather against this bottling, and I think you've got a contingency of new whiskey drinkers that want sherry finishes. And if they don't have sherry finishes, then they're not happy with the result. And they're probably thinking, well, like, is this actually any different than Talisker 10? Well, I'm going to tell you, it is quite different than the 10-year-old. Let me just give myself a bit of a thumbs up somehow. You know, got to look out for myself, look out for number one, right? Oh, I guess they don't let me do that. Oh, here we go. There, liked myself. Had to do it, had to be done. You know, even though I've been around a long time, I'm still new at this, and I'm a bit of a tech, for lack of a better word, a tech beginner. I'm a bit of a tech beginner. People have got their cameras and whatnot, and it's like, you know what, for me, the phone is the easiest thing, and all I need are some attachments, and that's where the problems come in. Okay, so with water, the palate. Really, really potent European, in this case, French oak. It's very spicy. This is a spice bomb. This is about as spicy as Spice Tree from Compass Box, and it's peated, which adds an element in and of itself. A little bit of chocolatiness coming in here, which again is something you predominantly get from a sherry particularly an Oloroso fully matured whiskey. But in this case, those French oak casks, plus the oak, plus the cognac, giving it some chocolatey notes. There's really not a big cognac quality to this whatsoever. I don't smell anything wine-like, raisin-like on the nose. And by the way, it's leaving my mouth very sticky, as if I had just had some, some candy or some sweet pastries or whatever. I'll just write, great to see everyone. Where are you coming from? Leave a comment in the live chat. Okay. And so far, I'm thrilled about this. At the end of the palate, there is a slight whiff of dry grape skins and the stems, the must, the leftover must. I think it's called the must, which is used for making grappa. So that's really interesting. It's coming in especially at the finish. There it is again. Very, very grappa-esque. Isn't that interesting? Whatever those cognac casks were, they were fermenting on the must, and I think maybe even the casks themselves had some wine fermenting with the skins in the cask. Anyways, Whiskey Tucker, great to hear from you. You're coming from the Netherlands. And are you a Talisker fan? What are your favorite whiskeys? I think maybe it's the first time I've seen you on a live stream. Again, it's been forever since I just haven't been able to put out content in the last 18 months with any sort of regularity due to moving back to South Korea here. Anyway, so what kind of whiskey are you into? And Mooney Girl, what about you? What sort of whiskeys do you like? Please do share. I'll tell you a little bit about my story with Talisker. Way before I started the channel, which was 2015 when I started the channel. 2013, 2010, I started really getting into single malt whiskey. I was into it before, since my 20s, but I had never really purchased a bottle. I bought a bottle of whiskey sometime around 2010. That was a Glenmorangie special edition, the Sonalta PX. Shared it with friends. We all got into it. Started going to tastings, Glenlivet tastings, Glenfiddich tastings, etc. And whenever I would get together with some friends, I would buy a bottle, or we'd pitch in and buy a bottle together. I bought a bottle of Talisker 10. The meeting with the friends got delayed. It was $70, 70,000 won Korean. Less than I paid for this, by the way. 15 years later, practically. Anyway, the event was delayed so long that I finished not only one bottle, 2 bottles of Talisker 10, and a bottle of Lefroy 10, and then went back and got another bottle of Talisker 10 for the next, when we finally were able to get together. It's probably about a 2-month delay. So 2 months, like literally finishing 2 bottles in 2 months. It sounds crazy, but it's really just about an ounce a day with a day or two off a week, essentially. Okay, so that was the Talisker Wilder Seas, this bottling right here. First off, tasting just off the cuff, I'm going to say I recommend it. Watch for sales. I think this product did not sell the way they were hoping. I think that this is not a novice whiskey. This is a whiskey for people that are into Talisker and people that are into oak and not the sherry finishing of whiskeys. Okay, so if you're all about sherry, yep, you're not going to be loving this at all. Cognac lovers, I think if they have a broad palate and they're interested in some smoky flavors, they'll enjoy finding that must, the grape must note, pardon me, the grape must note at the end of the palate here. Now keep in mind, it's taking me like, how long? What's my time count here? Looks like about 30 minutes. 30 minutes to finish roughly half to 3/4 of an ounce of whiskey. That's very, very slow for most people. Pardon me. Okay. I'm doing okay. Anyway, the nose, spicy, some Talisker pepper, some peat. Thick, rich, beautiful palate. Thick mouthfeel. 48% is working here. Lots of rich oak, the rich French oak, nutmeg and cinnamon and cardamom, vanilla pods. And then at the end of the palate, especially the finish, some grape must left over from the production of wine, which of course comes into play in the production of cognac, because cognac is distilled wine from the Champagne, the cognac region of France. Okay, so we got the little story from Whiskey Tucker. He says he's never joined my live stream once before. He likes Talisker Storm 18. I think I've got a Talisker 18 review from a couple of months ago. You can check that out. Let me know what you think. And I'm so happy to hear that she bought the Parley Wilder Seas on sale. Did you do as well as I did? I got 50% off. I'm just out of my mind thrilled. And now that I've tasted it, I am blown away by the fact that I've got 2 bottles of this, and I'm wondering if I should go and get another 1 or 2 of these. $65 a bottle. That's the current price of Johnnie Walker Red Label. And there's just no comparison here. This is a dream. I do like Johnnie Walker Black Label, but excuse me, did I say blue? Black Label. It's a jobbing whiskey, to quote a famous whiskey YouTuber called Ralphie. Oh man, I've still got the cold. I really apologize for the coughing. Okay. Highland Park is his favorite brand. I do enjoy Highland Park as well. Let me just get some water here. Anyway, quiet, sleepy setup. My wife's bouquet of flowers that she put together from some fresh flowers that we had looks pretty nice. kind of a hopefully slightly moody lighting. I turned the lighting a little bit orange just to give it some nice light. I guess I could throw up a candle as well just for fun. Why not? Okay. And I should be closer to the mic. I should be this close, but I just can't. I can't do it. Okay. Got the candle. Very moody now. Just shouldn't burn myself, hopefully. I guess I can put this in front. There. Okay, nice romantic. Korea has a great word for drinking by oneself. It's called, it's a mixture of two words. 혼자, which means by myself. And 술, which means alcohol, which means drinks. So 혼술. 혼술 means drinking by oneself. If you've got a Korean friend, then you can say H-O-N. Remember, it's an O sound. It's not hun, like honey. It's ho with an N, hon, and then su, like a girl named Sue, and then with an L, 술, 혼술. Try that, 혼술. So tell your friends, your Korean friend, I'm having 혼술 tonight, and they will flip their mind. Anyway, have fun with that. Okay, so that was this guy here. What I'll do, I'm going to push this one up here. Talisker 57 North. And Whiskey Tucker, you're in a place where you have access to whiskey auctions. And I'm going to suggest to you right now that you get a bottle of this, or you find a Talisker friend, a Talisker loving friend who has some stocks, and you bring over some Highland Park, and then they've got the old Taliskers. This is really interesting. I'll just pull the bottle up and close. Okay, Talisker 57 North, 57%. 57%, by the way, is 0.1% away from 100 proof. That is the imperial proof, the original proof before USA started to get all into the word proof. Okay, so that's that guy. I'll set him right down right here. I don't think I need to touch him again. And Peter White has joined. Peter, welcome. It's so nice to see you. And this one, Peter's asking where I got the 57 North. I actually got it at Waddington's auction in your neck of the woods, which I paid. I forget what I paid. I think I paid about 160, 200 bucks shipped basically for that. For the liter, I mean, it's a liter, right? So you get a liter, 57%. It's an old bottle. I thought, you know what? I had one bottle of this the last time I lived in Korea, and I loved it. And I just couldn't resist, so I went in for that. Of course, in the beginning of the auction, there was no competition, and I was going to ride away with $100 for the bottle. But there was a bit of action, and then I just persisted and kept bidding a little bit over the previous bid, and then finally sealed the deal. So that was good. Anyway, Peter White, thanks to see you here. Thanks for coming, I should say. Nice to see you here. The Iron Gate, yeah, that's a really interesting auction house in Alberta, I guess. I was thinking of maybe getting rid of some of my whiskeys there. Luckily, my parents are able to hang on to my collection for a little while longer. I did sell a few just to pay for the move. I think, boy, between flights and buying new crap. I think I spent 10, 15, 20, probably 20 grand on associated expenses with moving the house. So $250, geez. That's too much. I just couldn't do it. I think no, I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't. But I guess someone did, and I guess they're gonna enjoy that. It would sure be nice if Talisker would put out either this edition again, or put out a new cask strength edition. They're losing out. They're losing out with their pricing strategies. They're losing out with the quality of the 10-year-old. This is good. If you see that on sale in Alberta, I highly recommend it, Peter. Yeah, the bourbons, right? When is the bottom going to fall out of that? I wonder. Anyway, getting off topic here a little bit. So Talisker 57 North. This is a high proof ex-bourbon, predominantly ex-bourbon. There might be a little bit of sherry in there, probably not. They don't list anything about the oak on the label here. And let's see what that's like on the nose. Talisker 57 North, especially dealing with an older bottle. I think even though this is 10, 15 years old, it's got a bit of old bottle effect, which gives it the appearance of a real old bottle. And I remember when I first opened it, I thought, wow, it smells like white wine. It smells like old liniment, leather, like leather baseball glove. And the peat is still in there. And it's just really, really appealing. It's just so appealing. And I think this is one reason why, you can hoard whiskey because you know the prices are going up. That, for me, that's the number one reason why I overbuy. I've got, I don't know, maybe 200 bottles between Winnipeg and here. All the open bottles. I'm so sad, Peter, and everyone else who's watching along here. I've lost all of my open bottles just because I just don't have the space for it, and I ended up selling them for a song, literally. Didn't have the time to really try to find an appropriate buyer, and local people who wanted. I think my father found a certain establishment that figured they could work in some of those bottles without ruffling too many feathers. Anyway, so hoard bottles because the prices are going up. Also hoard bottles because you want to compare old bottles with new, like what I'm doing right here. Okay, so comparing the Talisker 57 North with the Parley Wilder Seas, it's a nice comparison. Higher proof and cask strength. Anyway, kind of a juicy fruit bubblegum note. And I got to get into this. So cheers, Peter. Thanks for joining in. And cheers, everyone else. Whiskey Tucker, nice to see you here. You're into Highland Park. And I think from what it sounds like, I think Talisker obviously is a good comparison with Highland Park. But don't forget about things like long grow, and which are hard to find. But the basic long grow is excellent. Anyway, I need to sip this. Cheers. Mmm. This is so sweet and delicious. It reminds me of ice wine at the tip of the tongue. And then, poof, it just goes back in my mouth, kind of like a delicious brandy. Obviously it's whiskey, but it's really got a sweet tang to it. And this particular 57 North L5, so L5211, I know I wrote that down in Whiskey Base, but you know, it's a bit old. Anyway, the peat level varies year to year depending on casking and so on. And I think the older bottles had the really, really old label. I think this is the last label before they discontinued it. Now, decanted that would have been smart. I kind of didn't have the time because I had to pack up and get the house ready to sell, which finally did sell at the beginning of October. I was just too rushed. I was rushed when I first came. I came for a job interview. I guess I can let the secret out. It was an interview with the Bank of Korea. And I ended up second place for that. I'm going to try again, I think. But anyway, was here for 2 months for that interview. Went home summer 2023. Immediately got 2 job offers at 2 national universities. So I took one of those, knowing that I wanted to come back here for economic reasons, for culture reasons, my family, my girls who are biracial, bicultural, and so on. My wife as well. Anyway, so took the job, and I gotta say it's been a blessing. It's been such a blessing. I haven't been as happy as I am now in probably a good 10 years. I had a big health scare right before I started Whisky Whistle, and that was, I guess, the nadir. A little bit of an up with the start of Whisky Whistle, and the career went well back then. But Canada was, I gotta say, it was a bust for me. Maybe I went about it for the wrong reasons. I had big hopes, and I think sometimes you just got to make sure you align yourself with the right people. And Winnipeg probably was not the place to have gone. I should have jumped over to Ontario. I think that would have suited a newer real estate agent a little bit better than Winnipeg. Anyway, glad to be back. I couldn't be happier. Stress-free job. I work as much as I want, and I'm paid proportionately, and it's great. So, anyway, you mentioned Canada or Winnipeg. So yeah, I'm back in Korea. I was in Winnipeg, and it was a tough go. I had one good year with real estate. That was 2020. 2021 was a great year. And then 2022, as soon as they started hiking up the interest rates, there went the market. Oh, Campbellton Lock. Yeah, that would be nice. I haven't been able to grab one of those yet. So, Whiskey Tucker, I guess you're off on a Saturday. Must be Saturday mid-afternoon, late afternoon. maybe getting close to what? No, maybe it's evening now because it's morning here. Yeah, you got to be 10-ish p.m. Anyway, I'm hoping, Peter, getting back to my open whiskeys, I'm hoping that my my parents, I said to them, don't touch the SMWS bottles. Leave those for me, and a few other things aside. And then I've got about, I guess, about 170 bottles of new unopened whiskeys. So they're coming in January. They'll bring me a few bottles. Every time someone comes from Winnipeg, they'll bring a few, and that should work for the next little while. So it's a little bit of a not delayed satisfaction. What can I say? It's a displaced. There we go. Displaced satisfaction. The distance displaced satisfaction, knowing that I've got this stash that I built up for 10 years. So 10 years. So you're talking, no, not 10. It was 12, 13 years since the first bottle that I tucked away. So it's basically about 10, 15 bottles a year, which, if you're choosing right, you're paying on average, I don't know, $100 a bottle, and I'm happy with that. All right, anyway, so now comparing these two. So I've got the Parley Wilder Seas in my left hand on the right of your screen with the Talisker 57 North. The 57 North is a better whiskey, and Peter, I'm wondering, thinking about today's dollars, I don't know. I'm thinking about that $250 price tag. And would I pay another $100 to have that bottle again? And I actually might. Sipping this now. Very subtle peat, less peat here. My opinion of Johnny Walker and all of the component whiskeys like Talisker, they have slowly ramped up the peat levels with the interest in peat over the last decade and a half. And so I think newer Taliskers tend to be peatier than old. This is definitely much peatier, in fact. So this is subtle. This is like, it reminds me of less than Ben Romick, more like a peaty Springbank. And I want to know about this Talisker 15 cask strength. I mean, obviously the age is superior to this bottling. So I'm glad that you got one of those. And you mentioned the Diageo releases. They're all young. Either they're young or they're old. And if they're old, they're so expensive. And if they're young, they're still too expensive. I bought one of those. I bought the Rose Isle or Rossile. I don't know how you say that name. And I'm gonna have another cough going on here. I bought the 12-year-old, the 2023 release. I like it. I bought it on sale though, and I think that's a benefit. Canada, what's with? I mean, you get the sales in Alberta. Ontario and Manitoba never have sales, or very rarely. And they don't buy enough. They should be making more money than they're making. is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that's I'm diverging here. I'm supposed to be comparing these two. Peter with the Wilder Seas, the Parley Cognac French cask finish. Much more complex. It's prettier. This is a prettier whiskey. It's a more spirit forward. It's a more maturation forward. Really nice. That 15-year-old you have, Peter, must be like this, but with a little bit of added oak going on. The Parley, it's feistier, but amazingly more mouth coating. I think that's the 48% talking, plus the French oak finish. So I can't complain here. 2 bottles of these. This was $130, and I'm thrilled with the purchase. I might go back and get another couple of these. It's cheaper than Talisker 10. It's superior to Talisker 10 overall. It doesn't have the raw beauty, but it's got some beautiful French oakiness, which you can't. I mean, you just can't replace that. You can't substitute for that, unless you go to maybe Hungarian or something like that. I'm feeling a little bit energetic for 5 in the morning. And I've got another bottle here. And I'm going to let you decide. I'm going to give you a couple of choices here. Do you want to see I'll just put this here. Do you want to see some old blended Scotch, namely Dimple 15, 43%. And again, that's a Diageo product. Or do you want to see number 2, the Rose Isle 12-year-old 2023 edition? Or number 3, some Lebanese Athir Lebanese oak whiskey. I think that's a good selection. Oh, I'll add one more. Number 4. Number 4 will be Korean. I'll put tangerine, because they don't call them tangerines here. They're called cure. So tangerine brandy, and this is real brandy. It's not like peach brandy, which is what am I thinking of? A liqueur. This is a real tangerine brandy. Okay, so that's the choices here. I've got Peter going for the Rose Isle 12. I'd love to hear Whiskey Tucker's choice. That would be nice. And anybody else who wants to chime in, please let me know, and I'll pour that one and give that a go for the last maybe 20 minutes before I wrap things up. And it looks like Peter White's going to win with the Rose Isle 12. Okay, another one, Rose Isle 12. Okay, I'm going to get that. You're going to have to hold the fort while I go grab that. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. I'm here watch out for the mic. Okay, I am back in front of the camera. I wish I could get the mic closer to me, but that's life. Okay. All right. So, I guess that's good enough. I can turn up the gain a little bit. That might help. Okay, so I've got the Rose Isle 12 here. And I actually might have a little chaser of this. This is the Korean brandy, which is called, what is it called again? Shille Myeongjak. Shille Myeongjak, right? Shille Myeongju. Shille Myeongju. There's the brandy. 1 year old, which is legal in Korea. It does have a couple of funny things added to it, which their regular release does not have. This is a cask strength edition, 58%. So I was all hyped up because their regular bottling has nothing added, and this one has a little bit of enzyme. Okay, and then I've got the Rose Isle 12, the 2023 edition. And I think this is a straight up straight up bourbon. Well, no. Matured in first fill ex-bourbon and refill casks. The refill casks would most likely, 99%, they would be bourbon. Okay. Here we go. Get that up and close for you guys. That's a good amount. Then I'll move that over here. Okay. So first of all, Peter and Whiskey Tucker, who are on hand here. This was recommended to me by Graham Young, Peter, whom you might know. And so I went for it, and I also got this at a discount. It was regularly $130. No, regularly $160 on sale for $90. And then it was the store's mistake. And I took a picture and I just said, you just can't do that. You can't make a mistake with these things. I made the decision to buy. And the store manager came out and I just said, what are you going to do? He gave me a $50 store credit. So I guess I did pay the $130 price. But anyway, you get the gist. So a bit of a discount, which was nice. Light color, and as a bourbon cask lover, this is really just up my alley. The nose is so big on the vanilla and candy-like notes, fruit-like notes, and unusual fruits too. It's like not just your typical apples and oranges and pears and things like that. Something very tropical that I can't quite place. And then there's also a milk chocolatey note. Anyway, really, really lovely. This was 56.5%. Peter calls it a fruit bomb. Oh, man. It's kind of like, it's like a mix. You've got a mix of Mike and Ike fruit candies, fruit jelly beans. you know, candy coated jellies for Whiskey Tucker. I doubt you have Mike and Ike there. And then you also have a bowl of straight up real cocoa butter white chocolate, real milk chocolate, real dark chocolate, the sweeter kind. And you got that bowl somewhere in the vicinity. Woo. Super, super potent. It's dessert in a glass. It's got a really fresh herbal kind of juniper, no, basil, mint, basil, maybe a little bit of coniferous tree, like a pine tree or pine sap. Oh, it's nice. 130 bucks, yes. $90 was a no-brainer. 160, I thought, you know what? I get really pissed off when I see 10-year-old or 12-year-old whiskey over 100 bucks. If it's cask strength, it should be 120, 130. And if it's beyond that, it just really turns me off. The first offender was Lagavulin 8 being marketed for 100 bucks in Winnipeg, like 2018 or whenever that came out. And I think for Whiskey Tucker, he says he can get it for 125 US, 120 euro. If that's in your budget, I would do it. I mean, it's equivalent to then an $85 bottle for a regular strength. So well worth it. Again, for some reason, this was not very popular. I'm not sure why. I think... I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of the glean off of whiskey in the whiskey industry as a whole has come off a little bit, combined with people's shrinking budgets. My budget's cut down for sure. If I go nuts, I get 4 bottles a month, which is too much. But I get a couple of cheapies. You got to see this cheapie that I buy, which I stand by. Can I reach it without crashing anything? Oh, just reached it. Look at this cheapie. $13 a bottle. $13 a bottle. This is from Burn Stewart, the makers of Tobermory, Deanston, and Bunnahabhain. That's their blended whiskey, and it's super good. And what I do is I'll have an ounce of this, and then I'll just add a few drops of Lecheg or something like that. I'll put this over here. Anyway, Old Castle. And Peter's mentioning the Kleinlich 12-year-old, same over here in Korea, 300 bucks, 250 on sale. Not gonna happen for me. As much as I love Kleinlich, just absolutely no. Okay, anyway, so that Rose Isle is nice, and I just have to have this one last dram with you guys. And now I think I'm getting into a dirty glass, but that is okay. Not bad. I think it was clean. It just ended up getting handled too much. I could shine it up with my shirt. Anyway, a little bit sad about the Tyson fight. That was earlier today, or well, yesterday, Saturday in Korea. Yeah, not a bad glass. Okay, it's not too dirty. Okay, so this last tangerine orange fruit brandy, or eau de vie, you might want to call it. It's 1 year old, maybe a little bit more than one. Now, I was mentioning there we go. The laws are a bit different here. They can mature whiskey for a year and call it whiskey in Korea for domestic sale. Same with brandy. And again, this is the Shille Myeongju tangerine brandy. This is their special release, 58%, which you can see just at the bottom of the label there. I just wonder if maybe did Jake Paul ask him to get beat? I just wonder. I wonder about that fight. Okay, so Shille Myeongju, 58%. Here's the bogus with the ingredients. No sugar added, but oh no, it does have sugar. See, this is the problem. Their regular one has no sugar added, no anything. This one has a little bit of sugar added, which is very common in brandy. I'm aware, but I don't like it. Okay, so it's dosed, or whatever you want to call it. It's got some added, yeast, which of course it needs. Some, is that citric acid? And some kind of metachungahwangsan. Oh, some type of a calcium something, some kind of calcium. Anyway, so, and they didn't put that on the website, and I probably should have returned it, but I just couldn't bring myself to do that. And it was $100, which is a good deal for the price and the fact that it's, I mean, probably one of the very few tangerine orange, like actual orange brandies marketed on the planet. And this thing it's got like the big orange liqueur nose. What's that standard orange liqueur? It's French. I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, beautiful, very ripe, almost beyond ripe mandarin orange box, the Christmas orange box, you know? Have we got Food Quig in here? Look at this. Food Quig, so nice to see you. That's really great. And he says he got the 14-year-old out in BC. What did you pay for those? They were going for under $100 in Winnipeg. And they're not that expensive here either. I think Diageo puts the prices down for their whiskeys here, which is interesting. Anyway, so I can get Talisker 10 on sale for $75. Kleinlich 14 for 120, as little as $100 on sale. They had the Lagavulin 16 on sale for, was it 160, which is not bad. 160, 130, maybe it was 130. And then the 8, Lagavulin 8, which I'm not really a big fan of for $79 in Korea. Yeah, that's probably one of those for sure. But I'm going to get their regular edition, which is 50% ABV and pure fruit. This has some sugar added and etc., which I don't know why they did that. It really pisses me off when producers are putting junk in the bottle. And they're doing that to mask the problems at the distillery. Or they think that people want something that's sweet. But not too intense of a sweetness. I don't think they overkilled the sugar. I think it's less than 5%, which is less than most rums. So maybe they put in 7 grams, 10 grams a bottle, 1%, maybe 2%. No tackiness on my lips. But the regular one, 50% pure fruit, that's something that I want to take back to Canada when I go and share that with friends. Interesting box that it came in, tube, I guess you call it. Very attractive, very nice. And quite the action going on with Foodquig and with Peter White. Foodquig is saying that costs more here. I mean, it might be more expensive now in Winnipeg. I think that was 2022, 2023 was the last time I looked at the Kleinlich, and it was hovering at about $100 a bottle. So, anyway, fun times. Nice to see some old friends online and some new friends in the form of Whiskey Tucker from the Netherlands. A good long live stream approaching 80 minutes, which is a good length. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to sign out. I got to drive to Seoul. I don't live in Seoul. I live just outside. I got to drive to Seoul sometime in the afternoon, so I better sleep up. And you guys keep yourselves, mind your whiskey expenditures. Don't go nuts. Buy smart, buy on sale. If you're in Canada, you just got to buy from Alberta as much as possible. And I think even for Foodquig out in BC, you know, they'll ship to you. So don't even blink about that. It's like two worlds. There's two worlds in Canada for whiskey buyers. There's Alberta, and then there's everybody else. And everybody else pays through the nose. And in Alberta, you get great deals. Great deals. Anyway, that's my opinion. Korea here also, it's kind of like Manitoba, Ontario, BC. Prices are high, but then they have 50% off discounts, which you never see. Which makes sense when you have too much stock and it's not moving. You got to clear it out. And Manitoba, Ontario, probably BC too. I'm sure over on the East Coast, they hang on to these bottles forever. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, thanks a lot, Peter. Yeah, I'll keep you in the loop. Foodquig, great to see you. Thanks for joining in. I hope you're well. I'm getting back into everything. I checked out Scotch Test Dummies live. No, their recent upload on Patreon. And to people who are watching this after the fact, don't forget I have a Patreon as well. Rather unused. I'm going to be ramping that up, getting that back in shape, and getting the channel back in shape as I lead up to 10 years. Can you believe that? 10 years coming up next summer, like July 20 or July 30th. So that's something I gotta start preparing for. I don't want to be cast aside like some of the channels that just sort of seem to waft away into nothingness. I really want to keep up with things, so I'll do that. So take care, folks, and I will see you very soon. I've got the Lechek review coming up, the Sinclair series Rioja finish, along with an indie bottling from the Single Malts of Scotland, SMOS from Elixir Distillers. So watch for that. Thanks, guys. Thanks for everyone that's here. Thanks so much. I'll see you very soon. Subscribe. Check me out on Patreon. I'll put that in the chat here before I finish off. I guess http://patreon.com/Whisky Whistle. I think that's it. Does that work? I'm not sure. Anyway, you get the gist. It's in the comments. It's in the what do you call it? Description, in the description of the video. Take care, folks. I love you. I'm gonna have to come around. I'll have to do the reach around. The reach around. Okay. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.